them around there, latches.
Let's put our
Yours, I'm probably going to help you step that in just a little bit. Yeah.
There's a lot of cracks around it?
Yep.
What was the more sand?
If there are any big cracks that are right next to the sword,
Yep.
you just have to press the sword. Hang on a second.
He's got some cracks, but I'm not sure.
Okay.
Let's see what
If you
these
have big cracks right next to the sword, you hold the sword down with one hand,
Okay.
and with the other hand, like that. It just won't go in. That could mean there's sand packed in that hole. That happens on a few of these boxes. If that happens, take this apart. The way you fix it is you take one of these two drills. They have a brass collar here. Pull it forward like this, and flip it over. Put it back. There's a little drill bit back there. Okay. Push it back. Remember your number. You can follow your sword through the whole process. Okay. Secondly, there are screws that hold this together. We're just going to take the screws out of the top. The top is where the number is. Don't take them out of the back, okay? Where there's no number, leave it alone. We got to leave that part there. This part's coming apart. I'm going to use a cordless drill just to kind of speed this part up. They didn't have cordless drills during the Bronze Age. Things I like doing when I go on trips like this is I like going to abandoned copper mines where I can find them on the way. I have a collection of rock hounding books about the different states and stuff. And one of the places that I went to recently was an old abandoned copper mine in New Mexico. And here you can see there's a chunk of copper ore. You can see the streaks in here are like metal veins going into a chunk of rock. And it's about as big as a football, a little bit bigger. And so I took it home and cut it on a rock saw. And I'll pass that around. Married, he's presented a crysknife. Like, no, you're a full adult. You're a head of a household. Here's your sacred crysknife. So it's like this real, like, revered item to them. If you see this in a movie, it's a whole different kind of thing. So in a movie, if you see a character with something like this, what do you know about that character? What kind of character are they? Evil. They're a bad guy. That's right. This is a bad guy weapon in Hollywood. We're close to Hollywood. I got to say that, close to Hollywood. So this is a bad guy weapon in Hollywood. So, but anyway, that's the size of sword that they use in that video. So if you haven't seen it, watch that video sometime. It's pretty cool. But that's that one. And one thing I forgot to mention, I guess, when we were talking about the size of these swords being so small, this was the secondary weapon of the Bronze Age. The sword is not the primary weapon. What was the primary weapon?
spear.
A spear, that's right. Swords, but you should have some swords that represent the enemies of the Greeks. Who are the Greeks fighting? Kind of during the time of classical Greece that we study, like 500 BC, they were being attacked from the east by the Egypt? No. The Persians, that's right. The Persians were attacking from the east. Okay, so this is a Persian sword. I went home and like had to research like what does a Persian sword look like. This is one of the designs I came up with. And at first I thought, that looks like a big hunting knife. Like to a Texan, that looks real familiar, you know? Like. And they have to like, chip each one, sharpen it up. And the stone tools are harder than this. That's true. Like if you wanted to cut something that was really hard to cut, stone tools would be better in some ways. But this was very rare. So if you were found buried with something like this, archaeologists would know like you were a really high status person. So this is as much status symbol as it was like a tool that you were using for stuff. And that's about as big as they got. And I don't sharpen things in my class because I sometimes have pretty little kids take my class and they check for sharpness like this. Cut themselves or